Edmonton, the Edmonton Elks are to me a pretty easy question, and it's a lot like Hamilton. Why won't Edmonton win the West?
Hmm.
Edmonton, I was texting with one of the guys and I said, you guys are winning the West, right? And he said, Elk power or Elks forever. But they have, name a defensive tackle, name a left tackle who's been an all-star in the last 8 years who's not Stanley Bryant. And he probably plays for Edmonton right now,
Yes.
right? Incredible. The defensive line looks fantastic. They had Sean Lemon. Oh, yeah, Jake Serezna's there in the interior. Linebackers, okay, who's the Mike is a question. Their defensive backfield that they got with street free agents and Jonathan Rose and Jonathan Mincy, and oh, by the way, Aaron Grimes. Hey, here you go, Aaron Grimes. Receiving core might be the best in the league. Trevor Harris can get the deal done. Experience on the interior offensive line. I'm not huge fans of all three of them, but there's some really nice pieces in there between Ruby and Beard and Saxlid. James Wilder, running back, for as much as running back matters. Why? And they have depth in these spots too. Why won't Edmonton win the West? And 50 days out, I think Edmonton's the favorite in the West, as crazy as that might sound.
One big question for me when it comes to Edmonton deals specifically with the receiving group, because if you look at the way that most receiving groups, the ball distribution goes, it's the top guy, whether it be Shaq Evans, Brandon Banks, otherwise, they're going to get somewhere up around, I don't know, DT. I mean, it varies per team, but usually you're going to get somewhere 14 to 18% of your team's pass targets. Your second guy is going to get somewhere in and around 10%. And then you're going to kind of sprinkle it down through. There's going to be somebody with 8%, somebody with 4%, and it goes down through the list like that. When you have a group as talented as they do in Edmonton, in the receiving group, where do the targets go to? And Elizondo is such a great offensive mind, in my opinion, that I think it's going to be pretty evenly split. Like we saw what he did in Ottawa when he had 4,000-yard receivers, because it was Ernest Jackson, Chris Williams, Greg Ellingson, Brad Sinopoli. Was that the four? No, it was Chris. Yeah, okay, that was the four.
It was before Deontay. Yeah.
Right. And so, again, they basically did it again with Deontay. So the idea of being able to spread the ball around and make the defense defend every single part of the field, they're absolutely going to do that. But I do wonder if Trevor Harris, once we get 3, 4, 5 weeks into the season, starts to develop a real groove with one guy. And that's where you'll start to see the target percentages start to just do a little bit of this, just barely start to out-eke everybody around him. So I don't know where those targets are going to go. I think it'll be pretty evenly split. I think they'll attack all edges of the field. I think they'll produce offensively. But I want to see when we get to Labor Day and beyond, where do the targets start to go, and where does the production grade start to go for guys when they're targeted as well, because that's going to be the real telltale of, okay, they're going to start leaning when we get towards playoff time on this guy. And I think it's going to be Ellingson.
Yeah.
Honestly, like to me, Ellingson is going to be the guy over everybody else, and whether it be the targets, percentages, the production grade, the second down targets, like all those things I think are going to lean Ellingson. But it's crazy to think that you would move away from Darrell Walker. You see him in a one-on-one matchup, you're like, but I like this Ellingson matchup over here. Like, man, what a great choice to have.
Yeah, and you love that one is the X and one is the Y, right? Opposite sides of the field. I was trying to look at the best XY combos in the league as guys, when you talk about spreading the field. Their runaway number one. Number two might be if Montreal goes Geno Lewis at the X and they move BJ Cunningham to the Y. Maybe they're next. But that's a lethal combo when you have two top 5 receivers and it's not wide receiver and slot to the same side. Ellingson has been the guy for me who's ushered in this transition of we need to use this field side more. And Ellingson is the man. So 8 targets a game for him, 7 targets a game for Darrell Walker, a little deeper down the field. Armonte Edwards can be the cleaner underneath and occasionally burn you deep. Edmonton,
it's nice.
If Trevor Harris is healthy, Edmonton could be really, really nice this season.